Thanks for watching AquariumTech today. Today I was going to go ahead and do a review of actually a fish food. Now I haven't really done any of this. I did do a diet, kind of a general diet information. Maybe I'll post the link down to the video in the description. I think that might have been a two-parter, so I'll post the links in the description. But I haven't really done any food reviews, and if you guys want me to, I have been through a ton of food, so generally speaking, if you wanted me to do a review on a food, I probably have used it, so I could start doing that. I just thought maybe it wouldn't be appreciated, maybe it was just a little, too in-depth, maybe. But, if that's something anybody's interested in, I can start doing a lot of food reviews. But I've got a lot of people asking me, for whatever reason, about this new era food. So at this point, I'm just going to make a video on it. It just makes more sense to talk about it, because there is a few things to talk about when it comes to this food, at least in particular. But real quick, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been putting out videos. Life happens. That's the only thing I can say. But the other thing is my stream. I have been streaming a lot more because I got a new internet connection. So, you can catch me on the stream, because I've had a couple people ask me, how to contact me. I guess there's not really private messages anymore, and I don't use Google+. So it's pretty much either comments or stream right now, or you can email me. I think it lets you email. So, new era. A lot of people ask me about it. They make, I believe they make like a couple different saltwater ones, and they make the marine grazers, which are like tablets. And then what I have here is the tropical pellets. That's what I have here because I have fresh water. Here, let's go over some of the ingredients real quick before I start getting into my experience with it. We'll go over the ingredients and some of the numbers here. So the crude protein is a minimum of 45%, so that's a decent number. That's pretty high. Crude fat is 8%. That's decent too. Crude fiber is at a minimum of 0.5%. Moisture is at 23% max. That's actually quite a bit, but that doesn't, that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. Ash content is at a maximum of 16%. That is crazy high. I forgot the numbers off the top of my head. Maybe I'll put them down here. Some of the other foods like Omega-1 and like Spectrum and stuff like that, other big brands. But they are nowhere near that 16%. That is high. And then it just goes into vitamins. I won't get into that. And then, so let's go to the ingredients. Your first ingredient is fish meal. That's okay. That's fine. Cornstarch is your second ingredient. Not digging that. Fish oil is your next ingredient. Then you got krill, dried seaweed, mussel, squid, shrimp, and then you start getting into all the special chemicals and stuff. So the ingredients is okay, but that's nothing to brag about, but it's okay. So first thing I'll talk about with this food is, I think one of the reasons it's been blowing up is because you can kind of choose the size of it, even though it only comes, I think, in one pellet size other than the wafers. You can change the size of them. Let me see if I can show you an example here. I used quite a bit of this just to make sure. I don't know if you can see here. See, I have a bunch of little tiny pieces of it on my hand. I have a bunch of little tiny pieces of it here on my hand, and watch what will happen. You can mush it together, and you can create, oh, that's kind of hard to see because I didn't get that much. But see, now it is one big piece. Oh, see, now it's one big piece instead of being a bunch of little small pieces. You can basically change the size of this food. It kind of feels like Play-Doh almost. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go as far to say that. But it's kind of got like a Play-Doh-ish feel to it. You can change the size of the pellet basically. So you can use the tiny pellets or even break them in half and use them for your smaller fish, or ball them up so you can use it for your catfish or something like that. So that was one of the kind of the allures of the food. I think that's why a lot of people were asking me about it, is because they've heard that. And to a lot of fish keepers, that can be, you know, a very useful tool. You know, not having to worry about different sizes of the same food for their fish. And it's okay. It works. Here's the thing. It kind of comes in sticks, okay? You can ball them into like a big stick easily, but, you know, usually you want to kind of put it into like a ball shape. But it doesn't really ball up very well. When you try to bend it and put it in a ball, it just breaks, and then when you keep trying to do it, it just keeps breaking. You basically kind of get just like I just showed you there. It's kind of like a long, almost like a cigar shape. It doesn't really come out the way you want it to. Though if you're okay with just having one big long stick, you know, almost looks like turtle food or something like that, then that's fine. But you can't. It doesn't ball up very well. That's the thing I really didn't like about that. And at times it can be hard to get it to stick together. Like, it doesn't work as good as you think it would. And especially when it's in that cigar shape, like if you have your filters going, and it gets right, you know, it might actually break it apart. So it's sticking together. It's kind of hit or miss. I do like the idea, but I could go on it either way. But, okay, so the biggest problem I had with this food is, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with that ash content, but this food is messy. It is disgusting. I should have taken some pictures or something, though the problem is, that's especially with you guys not being here and looking at my tanks, it's kind of hard to really get a good judgment just based off the food of what's going on in the tank. But this food makes a mess. And I don't care which one you're using. In fact, the marine wafers, the wafer versions, they're even worse. They, like, a couple fish stores around me got them as samples, and they have full tubs of them, and they do not use them because it is disgusting. Now, the fish will still eat it. Like, my fish, this definitely isn't their favorite food. In fact, I have to say, this is probably one of my fish's least favorite foods. They will still eat it, but, like, you can definitely tell with the bottom feeders, like the catfish and stuff, they'll kind of sniff on it for a second and look around for some other food, and then eventually they'll come back to eat this. But it's not like when I drop like Omega-1 or Plecocaine or New Life Spectrum or something like that in there. They just, boom, they just gulp it. With this stuff, they know food's in there, but they kind of look around for some other stuff. So that's not really a good sign as far as the fish goes. But like I said, you can tell because the stuff makes a mess, man. You definitely have to go easy on it. You don't need a whole lot of it. But this stuff it'll stay on the top for a second and then sink. So anyways, even though that some of the stats might look okay, I guess I'll say stats, but really by that I mean the guaranteed analysis, and even the ingredients look okay, I would not suggest this food. And the ability is cool to, being able to change the shape of the pellet, but I cannot suggest this food. It is dirty. My fish don't tend to like it, and I don't really see, this is kind of hard to judge, so I don't really want to say it, but I haven't really noticed any, health benefits with my fish. I haven't noticed any difference in color or health or activity, so there's nothing really that I care to say great about this product. I really can't suggest it. I think it's a cool idea. I just think they could have done a little bit better. I think part of the problem too is if you look at the ingredients list, okay, I only named off like basically the first line. It's huge. There's so many freaking ingredients in it, and I think it's to try to get it so you can, mush it together like you can. So I don't know if this idea is really going to be feasible, though I like the attempt. But I definitely can't suggest this food, so. Alright, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And if you want to see other reviews on fish foods or have any other questions, ask. Thanks for tuning in.
If you haven't checked out AmericanAquariumProducts.com, do it. Not just for your fish, but for your brain.